waited a long time for the eventual return of both the Birth by Sleep and the 358 over 2 days trios. A lot of the story following the events of Kingdom Hearts Coded was focused on bringing these lost people back. But before then, each group had their own respective games that were dedicated and focused on them. Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days came out on the Nintendo DS back in 2009, where the story focused on Roxas's time in the Organization 13 before the events of Kingdom Hearts 2. It also introduced us to the character Xion, and the game largely focused on the friendship developing between Roxas, Xion, and Axel. Roxas ended up returning to Sora in the beginning of Kingdom Hearts 2. Xion also returned to Sora at the end of Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, whilst also being forgotten by everyone. That's truly awful. And Axel sacrificed himself towards the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, where he put an all-out attack, sacrificing his whole being, against a swarm of nobodies to protect Sora and his friends. That was what we thought was the end of all of those guys. It was some time before we saw all three of them together again. Axel returned in Dream Drop Distance back to his original being known as Lee, though he does still dabble between using both names. Xion returned in Kingdom Hearts 3, where she was likely brought back from the past by the 13 Secrets of Darkness in order to join them. Supposedly not knowing who she really was until she was ordered to kill Axel, Sora intervened and triggered her memories to return. Therefore she was back well and truly to the side of light. Immediately after this, Roxas returned to save Xion from being attacked by Xemnas. Roxas returned mostly thanks to the scientists at Radiant Garden, along with the connection to his friends that he felt through Sora. In 2010, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep on the PSP introduced us to three new main characters, who each had a playable story: Terra, Ventus, and Aqua. Obviously, the game had a large focus on these three characters right up until the events that would leave all three of them missing for a number of years. Through Terra's darkness, Master Xehanort extracted his own heart and merged it with Terra's body. Ventus's heart basically went to sleep after this story. His heart returned to a young Sora while it was sleeping, and his body was safely kept in the land of departure by Aqua. Aqua ended up being trapped in the realm of darkness after sacrificing herself to save Terra Xehanort. It wasn't until Kingdom Hearts 3 where all three of these characters were saved. Sora saved Aqua in the realm of darkness, and not long after, Sora also triggered the power of waking to awaken Ventus at the land of departure, as Vanitas was about to kill Aqua. Terra was revealed to actually be the Guardian that Terra Xehanort was using, where the Guardian saved Aqua and Ven from, well, certain death. He turned on Terra Xehanort, and with the help of Sora, he managed to return to his body. And dude, I'm not even, I'm just kind of remembered her as I was talking about this, and I know she's not really considered part of these groups, but fuck knows what's gonna happen with Naminé after she finally returned in Kingdom Hearts 3. It was right at the very end of the game that she actually returned, and who knows what's happening with her from there. So needless to say that all that were involved were in for a hell of a ride. Which raises the question of, what happens with them next? Will they be reduced to background characters, or will they have important duties and more supportive roles in future Kingdom Hearts games? In an interview from last year, Tetsuya Nomura was questioned about the future of the two trios. Basically, he talked about how surprised he was about the popularity that the characters had garnered from these games that they were involved in. He also mentioned how Kingdom Hearts 4 is mainly focused on the disappearance of Sora, so he wasn't sure about fitting in much more stories beyond that for these characters, but he understands how much fans want to see them again and have their stories expand, and that he hopes at the very least it happens in other future games. So unless he's bullshitting us a bit, and he could be, but I don't get that impression, he does have a point about the story focusing on Sora's disappearance now. That is the clear main story that is going on heading into Kingdom Hearts 4. While we also don't know shit what's going on with the likes of Yozora, the Lost Masters, and the Master of Masters, I feel like a lot of characters that were met in previous Kingdom Hearts games will take a back seat in this game. Similar in the way of how Final Fantasy characters kind of just lessen their appearances over the years. Nomura did say that a large reason why Final Fantasy characters have taken a backseat in more recent Kingdom Hearts games is because of how many original characters for the Kingdom Hearts series got introduced. At the beginning of the series, there were barely any original characters that weren't Final Fantasy or Disney. Now most of the characters in the series are Kingdom Hearts originals, so the Final Fantasy characters weren't deemed that necessary anymore. And unfortunately, for Kingdom Hearts 4, I feel like some will naturally have to fade into the background in order for newer characters to shine, and unfortunately, I think the ones that will suffer this fate the most are probably the Birth by Sleep and the Days trios. I won't be that bummed if they aren't featured in Kingdom Hearts 4 heavily, but I really do hope that we at least see more of them and have their stories expanded on in the future. I'm satisfied with how their stories ended in Kingdom Hearts 3. How they returned was just like, for the most part, it was chef's kiss. It was really well done. And yeah, how they all reunited was just awesome. They were in for a hell of a ride, and yeah, it was quite an emotion. There were emotional returns, I'll give them that. But now that they're back, I want to see what happens with them all from there, as we haven't seen anything of them really since Kingdom Hearts 3 ended. I think we will see a bit of them in this game, even if there isn't really a story for them. They can still be a little bit involved. I think there's already evidence that suggests that we will at least see Aqua train Kairi, which would be cool. But honestly, as for the rest of them, it's far less obvious to predict how they'll be used. Like I said, the main plot of Kingdom Hearts 4 has already been said about saving Sora, and that's just the main plot line for now. Like, we don't even know what the deal is with the Master of Masters and Lucio and all that kind of stuff. We know virtually nothing about that. And I mean, if it's only Riku heading into Quadratum, then that leaves little to imagine for what the rest of the group will be up to if no one else follows into Quadratum somehow. My final verdict towards all of this is that we should at least see a bit of all of these guys, but obviously they aren't much of a priority for Kingdom Hearts 4. Meaning that whatever they get up to probably won't be that major towards the main story. It'll just be things like, as I mentioned, Aqua training Kairi, and probably just little things like that. Anyway, that's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Do comment your thoughts below on what you think will happen. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe for more Kingdom Hearts content. This has been Hubsy. Until the next time.